today's news review, we have a super exciting upcoming minigame with decorating cabins, and they're asking for our potential inputs. Stay tuned. And there's always a lot of questions about new features, bug reports, and super cute community creations. So we'll start with Planet Moonstar that created the Pom Pom Pudding birthday in clay. How cute is that? And then we have Ashi that shared this adorable Wish Me Mail plushie and also an accompanying video on the Sleepy Panda Cafe YouTube channel of how she made it. I always love to see anything Wish Me Mail. And she also have a video of how to make super cute cinnamon ears for a cosplay. Go check it out. Now let's go to Discord. First, a message from Phoebe. Our team wants to do just a general vibe check on everyone's current thought on the Imagination Cafe. Reply to the thread below with what you're thinking, what's working, what's the appeal of it, what are the rough spots, if you don't like it, what feeling do you have instead? More or less just want to feel how our community feels on the cafe. We aren't going to do a formal feedback thread since these may be way down the line, but I would love to hear your thought. So if you have things to share about that, feel free to do so. Talking about the Imagination Cafe, Jessie said, we added the wait because we didn't want folks to feel obligated to play for X hours straight to rush complete it. But we may be able to do something about it as you level up your friendship with Usahana. So they might add, like, you can play unlimited orders in the cafe or something like that, maybe, in the future level. I guess they will not add more levels to Usahana, but maybe they will add this perk inserted in the levels that you've already done, I guess. Now, the Hello Apollo Kid players. The 2.5.1 launches today. There are some issues that are fixed for this update that our fantastic community let us know about. Fast travel has been added in City Town West. Navigating to the sewers have been improved in 2 ways. A minimap will now show while within the sewers. In the map menu, a regional map is now accessible. And I'll let you go and read the rest. Just so you know, there is now a bug that Attack on the Rainbow Dango accidentally got deleted, meaning it's no longer Usahana's 3-heart gift. We will be releasing a 2.5.2 hotfix to address this issue, if not late this week, early next week. So if you don't see any 3-heart gift anymore, that's normal, it's a bug, it will come back. Don't worry, it has not changed. Zuzu asked, also, is there any server maintenance? Are starting playing this patch? And Chelsea said, we don't have servers, so no server maintenance. Alas, no primos either. She's talking about a lot of games like Genshin Impact or Infinite Nikki that have server maintenances where you cannot play, and so to compensate they give you a lot of primo gems or things like that, like crystals, to compensate the time that you could not play. That's not the case here, unfortunately. About this 2.5 update, Chelsea confirms no new flowers in this update. So good to know. We can focus on the other ones. So that's another, hopefully 6 weeks with no flowers. We'll see if there's in that event, but maybe not. I think the last flower that we have not seen yet will be for the paper parade, but I'm not sure about that. Linksya said, I feel it's taking me so much longer to wake up this morning without my morning routine. And Chelsea said, I still feel the potential benefit does not outweigh the cost of waiting. I always log in before the update. So sometimes you will have to wait until the next morning to get the new things, but that's not the end of the world if you played before the update comes. Okay, so another request for feedback. Jessie said, what would folks like to do in that dip where you're kind of done, all you can do are waiting on leveling Wish Me Mail, the little twin stars, and big challenges? I assume those are the 4. I guess I'm wondering, like, what sort of content? Because we're definitely been adding stuff, but I'm curious for the folks where it feels empty, what sort of stuff would make it feels less empty? We added flowers as an outlet since it's a very deep system and there's enough plots that folks can dump hours into planning and tending on some days if they want, but that's also not for everyone. I feel like quality of life is a separate bucket. Things to just make the gameplay smoother. But I do think there's a real dip in stuff to do that hits around months 2 that we are currently digging into. I guess broadly speaking, which of these buckets is more appealing? Exploration. New areas, new things to collect in areas, island challenges to masters and puzzle rooms to solve. Or expression. More things to do to make the world your own, more furniture to collect, more ways to customize, more clothes to dye or cabins to decorate. Narrative. More quests with characters, more stories for visitors, more opportunities to get to know the characters and their visitors, or something else. So if you have feedback about that, feel free to share it. Chelsea said, we might be able to have a feature that unlocks more shop slots. So I don't know if that with somebody you will have more possible things in your shop, or that means that there will be new types of things that will take a shop slot. Like there's always one that is a weather item and there's always one that is a past event item. I don't know which one she's talking about, like regular slots, like more of that or more a new specific one. Chelsea said, how about this? If you could have a companion's ability permanently without having to companion, whose would it be? And so probably they're working on something, so also feel free to share your input there. Min said, big challenges, immediately I love playing co-op for this very reason. And Chelsea said, this is mine too. Whenever I have 2 for any reason, I just cry about it. So big challenges has an ability that it makes all the resources come to you and you don't have to pick them. So I really like that too. I never use it though, never, but it's cool. Ethan said, wait, you can actually use Tophat's ability with those things, star drops and raindrops too? And Chelsea said, I never even thought about it for weather drops. Glorthan said, you can with raindrop, but doesn't work with star drops. And Chelsea said, oh, cause they're in the chests. That makes sense. You know Tophat only has 10 friendship levels. Weird, am I right? So we need to know more about Tophat, because apparently she has been saying that if you look at the memories in the past with Tophat and big challenges, Tophat has slightly different colors, feet, and is not really glitchy. Like, is not an hologram back then. So there's something weird with Tophat that is not resolved yet. I mean, maybe we will get more things with Tophats in the future. There was feedback that had 2 hearts and an arrow to the top. And Chelsea said, the hint actually referred to several 2 hearts gifts getting an extra tag to improve their value. We saw a lull in the mid-game and are hoping this helps folk when they haven't yet unlocked crafting upgrades or recipes to be able to get the 3 heart gifts. Very interesting. So you see that extra, I don't know, smiley tag, something like that. This is the extra tag to get more power in those gifts. Swanty Girl said, I'm missing the Imagination Celebration currency that was in the mail. And Phoebe said, this is happening because the Imagination Celebration is not active yet. A new mail will be going out that will feature Imagination Celebration currency to compensate. Something about giving out your support code if you're reporting a bug. Codes sadly are only helpful if they're obtained during the same session you made. The purchase log are wiped every time you leave and restart. They were talking about a bug about a purchase or something. But if you close the game in between, you will not be able to share that info with the devs about your issue that you had. Generate your code before you close the game. So you might have noticed that you received compensation of 1 of each of the colorblaze items because there was a bug with the Tuxedo-san. And Chelsea said, I got this confirmed by engineering. The item's quantity was not passed properly to Tuxedo-san, so he couldn't double it. We'll be sending out a dev mail to folks with an extra set of furniture this week. Thanks for raising this. Ash asked, did anyone else get the colorblaze mail again? I got the furniture for a second time. And Chelsea said, it was intended because some folks missed it and we wanted to ensure everyone got it regardless of if that meant that some folks might get it twice. Oh, I think they gave it just to the end of the event or closer to the update and that deletes everything that was in there previously, something like that. And Meave said, in reference to my video where I talked about the new hint about the resources spawning over 3 days, I might actually use my island bookcase now. And Chelsea said 100% this. I have always looked at them and laughed like, when would I ever have the time? This is the time now. In the wild speculation, Demise said, I really love the idea of a forest biome too one day. Just have no idea who would occupy it. I think I'm just obsessed with forest core with all the other cozy games I play. And Chelsea said, vibrates with secret knowledge. Does that mean that we'll get a forest biome? I know that they said we could have humming mint now because they figure out how to have characters that walk on 4 legs now. So maybe, I guess, on Imagination Island, hopefully. Behind the city there will be a forest. Would that make sense? I think people were arguing in the chat and Chelsea said, let's not get too spicy, friends. Save some for curry. Litet said, oh, are we going to be able to make curry? And Chelsea said, I wish. I still want to use coconuts to be able to make curry recipes. Distant dreams. I really hope that we can make curry in the future. Comparing Hello Kitty Island Adventure and Animal Crossing. I think the Animal Crossing comparison are inevitable, but the two games are fundamentally different business models and quite frankly fundamentally different games. So the danger is always in forming expectation based on AC and then getting mad at us for no reason when we're not the same. We also do always try to balance adding features that are AC-ish with adding features that better support open world gameplay, minigames, exploration and whatnot. So our ears are open, but obviously we'll make final calls. We call HKIA a cozy adventure for marketing purposes, but at its core it's more of a hybrid open world adventure and life sim. I'd call Animal Crossing a solid life sim. It's about hanging out, collecting things to build / craft, and then tons and tons of self-expression as the end goal. HKIA has a lot of that too, but the open world adventure aspect really differentiates it. HKIA has a much deeper narrative through line. It has a more layered form of progression, spatial progression, friendship progression, avatar progression. It has things like the puzzle shrines or the minigames or the world collectibles, stamina apples and conches. HKIA is also live service, so it has the update cadence, the event cycles, the sense that the game is growing / expanding versus Animal Crossing is very much a beautiful but finite playground. From a developer perspective, obviously, their super deep customization makes the play infinite. I think the play dynamics that arise out of both games are very similar, which doesn't help with the comparison, but when you look at the mechanics, there are considerable differences. Nos42 says, any hints on Q1? And Jesse said, I'm still trying to confirm timing. We'll make a big announcement as soon as the date's locked, but it will have everything through 2.4 that's not City Town. Small Peanut said, what we really want is to know when we are getting our update. And Jesse said, we need to hear back from Nintendo about a waiver. We've got everything just about ready to go, but we won't know a date until we hear back. Trust me, I'm chomping at the bit too. And we'll let folks know as soon as I have the date the team feels confident in. The waiver from Nintendo is due to the file size of the update cause it's too big. It's basically 9 months of content. Updates on Switch take a lot longer to process. We have to get everything ported over to Switch and then Nintendo's patch approval process can be very long. So they won't even be in sync, but after CU1, they'll be a lot closer. CL said, I'm really bummed about that mailbox moving. It was much easier to mailbox to the top and glide down. So apparently they added a new mailbox on the left of the city town, but the one that is now in the orchard was at the top back. And Chelsea said, did that get a feedback thread? I didn't realize it had moved. I thought they added an extra. TLDR, we are going to make the orange building to the left / back of the orchard a lot taller and add a teleporter point there. And Tie-Dye Friday says, I just noticed another small but much appreciated quality of life improvement in the sewers. You can now catch ladder anytime if you're in the air, including simple jumps. Between that and the minimap, the sewers are much less frustrating. Well done, devs. Talking about the colors of flowers, Mif said, I think it would be black plus white equal gray, but other than that, no mixing black with any flower colors. Otherwise, it would have ended up like this. And we talked about that in a previous video. And just said, oh, I thought it'd just be black, but mixing gray as well, then yeah, that is a lot of colors. Personally, I think more colors is more fun since you don't have to breed every flower color and wanted a darker purple, but I can see how for some people it'd be stressful. And Chelsea said, it was also an issue of making them meaningfully differentiable. There were a lot of colors where we couldn't get them to read uniquely, especially in blends where we already have some issues with color differentiations. If you can't tell the difference, then it's a big mental overhead slash completionist's nightmare for not a lot of aesthetic slash self-expressive reward. Despite my deep love for the flower system, it just didn't make sense. So if you were wondering, this is a confirmation that we'll only have black and gray. And by the way, I'm going nowhere with my bounty. I managed to have one that I was sure it looked very well, like on a second or third day of trying, and somebody posted it already the exact same one, so I was like, But if that person gets a point, I will feel like I will own a point because I managed to breed this one, but I was not able to breed any other ones. Your mom's mac chicken says, well, that's a bummer. I really wanted bows and flower crowns for some outfits that any current flower color just don't work with. I get the endless possibilities, and I guess I was just hoping to only add some colors to match the colors in the clothing shop. I'll take the black and gray though, and you know, maybe in the further future we can get darker color tones. My thinking was black and white, make gray, and to use brown to mix with only certain colors to make the darker tones. But I appreciate you responding so quickly, thank you. Jessie said, I think brown is a good example of one where we have a dye and a lot of clothing for it, but no flower. If you encounter anything else like this, add it to the thread. I don't know how it would make it work, but it's still good to have in the back of our heads as we're thinking about the future of flowers. Jessie said, furniture that you can customize via flowers or make at Creation Station is something we really love and have been working on figuring out. And Vanilla Frap says, Ottoman shaped like flowers, etc. Oh my god, I love the idea, but I wonder if it would be hard to do for every variation. And Chelsea said, this is exactly what we've gotten stuck on. Because half of us are like, I want a dandelion set. And then the other half of us are, I don't want to feel pressured to make every furniture with every flower. I am both halves. I'm not sure which one I am. And then she said, yeah, we might start with just the Merry Meadow flowers. TBD, but we want to figure it out. A request for input from Chelsea that says, see your interiors in game. Hello decorator, we're working on a future feature where players will get to see pre-decorated rooms as part of a minigame. We were going to make the rooms ourselves, but then thought this might be a fun way to showcase some of the absolutely fantastic player talent we have in the community. What makes a good room? Beautiful. The room looks great. Walkable, you can get around to most places in the room. Detailed, there are interesting details or items used in interesting / unexpected ways. How does this work? Submit a photo of the room, the region and number of cabin it is, and a support code. We'll pick between 10 and 20 rooms to feature in the minigame. If we pick your room, you'll get a special role in the Discord and a special thanks mentioned in the game's credit. This will be your Discord username by default. We'll likely need to change around some of the room's detail to accommodate the minigame functionality. There's no guarantee that we will use your design exactly as it is. The fine prints. By submitting, you're giving us all rights to your design and use of your design, commercially and otherwise, always and forever, anywhere and everywhere, in and all forms, with no compensation to you. We're obviously a business, so anything in the game counts as commercial use, and while we'll be giving a Discord role / game credit inclusion, we ain't doing any sort of money / financial transaction for you. This is all for the goodwill and good feeling of getting to show the whole community your designs. Anyone can submit any number of rooms, but please make sure that they're of decent quality. Of course, I'm going to participate. I'm first going to review a lot of rooms and then decide to maybe share a few, and maybe will design more with that in mind. I'm so excited. This is amazing. I really love things like that. And it's even better than just getting a point for the bounty. It's like, your thing will be in game. Insane. And Vin said, is there a deadline to this? I'm not sure when I'll have the time to participate. And Chelsea said, well, leave it open for at least a month. And that was April 14th. So be sure to submit yours before mid-May. And Goat says, is it only for arcade or can I participate with a Steam cabin? And Chelsea said, it's for everyone. So don't worry. So feel free to participate even if you don't have the deluxe version. I'm sure you can do super cute things with whatever you have now if you are willing to just take the time and decorate. So I want to see your future submissions, hopefully in the game. Oh wow, some of them are gorgeous. So are you excited for this upcoming cabin minigame? I'm so excited about that. So if you missed my last news reviews, there will be a playlist over here so you know everything that is on their roadmap and maybe answer a question that you had. And if you want to know everything that is new about the 2.5 update on Apple Arcade and all the new content and guides and Let's Plays, it will be in the playlist over there. See you there, and remember, everybody can play cozy. Bye bye!